Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will discuss independence in SOC engagement. SOC engagement is an attestation engagement. SOC stands for System and Organization Controls. What does it mean, an attestation engagement? Attestation engagement is a type of assurance. It's a type of an assurance service. Here you have to have a CPA, the practitioner, issuing a formal opinion, an opinion about the reliability of a subject matter, whether it's a SOC 1 or a SOC 2. Well, when you have an attestation engagement, an assurance service, independence is a cornerstone of any attestation engagement. For your opinion to be credible, for your opinion to be trusted, for the opinion to be relied on, the auditor, the practitioner, has to be independent. Therefore, the concept of independence is essential when conducting an audit on control mechanisms such as SOC engagement, whether it's a SOC 1 or a SOC 2. SOC 1 is internal control over financial reporting, or SOC 2, the trust services criteria. It does not matter which controls are we looking at. We have to be independent because we need to lends credibility to the opinion. We are giving an opinion. This means the auditor must remain independent, unbiased, detached to maintain integrity of their evaluation, of their opinion. If I'm telling you, I'm giving you an opinion, I want to make sure you believe me. And for the other party to believe me, what does that mean? It means I have no vested interest in that opinion. I'm giving you an objective, unbiased opinion, and to do so, I have to be independent. So this is what we will discuss in this session. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. Farhat Accounting Lectures is a supplemental educational tool that's going to help you with your CPA exam preparation as well as your accounting courses. My CPA material is aligned with your CPA review course such as Becker, Roger, Wiley, Gleam, Miles. My accounting courses are aligned with your accounting courses, broken down by chapter and topics. My resources consist of lectures, multiple choice questions, true-false questions, as well as exercises. Go ahead, start your free trial today. To ensure independence, various factors need to be considered. The first one, scope of services. It's crucial to delineate the boundaries of the services provided by the auditor to avoid conflict of interest. So when the auditor provides services that goes beyond the traditional audit, whether it's a financial statement audit or, since we are talking about the SOC audit here, the auditor should not participate in any other activities like a decision-making process of the client, trying to help them design their internal control, engage in operational activities. They must remain independent. They have to set boundaries about what they're doing and what they're not doing. Sometimes they have to clarify something that they're not doing. So that's why it's very important to mention the scope of services, what's included and what is not. Fee arrangement, the way the auditor are compensated, should not influence their judgment or finding. Well, if you're paying me based on my opinion, well, that's not a good way to ensure independence. It should be independent of my opinion. Financial relationship, both the auditing firm and the individual auditor should not have any financial ties with the service organization. Here, because we are conducting the audit for the service organization, that could be seen as compromising their independence. Business relationship, similar to financial relationship, any business connection between the audit firm and the service organization must be avoided to prevent conflicts of interest. Also, any alumni and family relationship, any personal connection, whether through family ties or former employee of the service organization who are now with the audit firm, need to be considered to safeguard the audit's objectivity. Now, this is not a comprehensive list, but you get the point. Anytime we have any sorts of a connection with the service organization, then guess what? Our independence might be compromised. Our independence, our impartiality might be compromised. Our objectivity might be compromised. You want to avoid any sort of conflict of interest. Now, here we kept mentioning the service organization, but simply put, we have to be independent of the responsible party. Usually, who's the responsible party? The service organization, because the service organization hires their auditor to issue a SOC 1 or a SOC 2. So the responsible party is, in an audit of service organization, the service auditor must be independent from the responsible party. Typically, it's the service organization. The service organization itself is hiring the auditor. The independence ensures that the auditor's objectivity and reliability, preventing conflict of interest that could bias the audit's result. So they have to be independent from the party that hires them, which is the service organization. If this is the auditor, would the auditor need to be independent of the user party? No, they don't have to be independent of Farhat Lectures. They have to be independent of the service organization that provide payroll to Farhat Lectures, but not to the user party. How about a subservice organization? So subservice organization is a vendor that provides services to the service organization. This is the subservice organization. And we talked about subservice organization. You need to know what's subservice organization. When a service organization employs a subservice organization and opts to include information about the service organization within its system description, you always have to do that. You have to include information using the inclusive method. Now, if you're using the inclusive method, the management of the subservice company becomes a responsible party. And what does that mean if they become a responsible party? It means they need to be independent from the auditor. Consequently, the service auditor must be independent from not only the primary service organization, but also of the subservice organization. So the subservice organization could impair the auditor's independence. How? If we are using the inclusive method, if the subservice organization is included in the system description of the service organization, and we are using the inclusive method, because what's the other method? The carve-out method. We're not including them in the system description. That's okay. The inclusive method, then we have to be careful. So this requirement ensures that the auditor can impartially evaluate and report on the controls of both the service and the subservice organization, thus providing a comprehensive and unbiased assessment. Because when it's the inclusive method, we are assuming both systems are working together. That's the implication of the inclusive method. The goal is to ensure the credibility of the audit results for all parties, relying on the accuracy of the service organization system description. Now, what happens if the auditor is not independent, but they have to do the audit by law or certain regulatory requirement? When the service organization is not independent, but must accept and report on an engagement, and they must do that due to a legal or regulatory requirement, it's important for the auditor to issue a disclaimer of opinion. What's a disclaimer of opinion? Don't give an opinion. The disclaimer must explicitly state that we cannot give an opinion because we as auditor lacks independence. Now, do you have to explain the independence? You can if you want to. While the auditor is not obligated to disclose the reasons for this lack of independence, if any reason are provided, all must be included in the report. So if we decided to list those reasons why we are not independent, we have to list all or truly keep our mouth shut. Regardless, we cannot issue an opinion. And that's basically good enough what you need to know about independence when it comes to SOC engagement as far as the Information Systems and Controls Exam CPA. Now, for the financial statement, you have different independence rule, and those are important as well, because as I started by saying, independence is the cornerstone of any attestation engagement. Audit, whether it's a SOC engagement or a traditional audit, you are giving your opinion. Your opinion has to be independent. You have to be independent for your opinion to be independent. Otherwise, users will not trust your opinion. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. A CPA firm is auditing a service organization that uses a subservice organization. The service organization has provided a comprehensive descriptive of the system, including details about the subservice organization using the inclusive method. Okay. To maintain compliance with auditing standard, what's required regarding the auditor's independence? So now we do have a subservice organization. We are including the subservice organization using the inclusive method. Once we are using the inclusive method, it means the subservice organization, it becomes becomes a, I'm going to put it in quote, responsible party. Responsible party means they are part, they hired the auditor themselves. And when you hire the auditor, you have to be independent. Well, let's see. The auditor need to be independent from the service organization only. No. Remember, now we have a service org. Okay, we have a service org, but we have a sub-service org that provides services to the service org, but we are using the inclusive method. If we are using the inclusive method, the auditor has to be independent from both the service org and the subservice org, not only the service org. A is out. The auditor must be independent from both the service org and the subservice org. I would say yes. Between A and B, I can take out A. The auditor does not to be independent. Let's not keep reading. They have to be independent. It's an attestation engagement. The auditor needs to be independent from the subservice organization only. No. The subservice organization is a responsible party now, just like the service, consider a responsible party. Therefore, you have to be independent from both. What should you do now? You want to go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional MCQs. That's going to help you prepare for the CPA exam, Information Systems and Controls. Invest in yourself. Good luck. Farhat Lectures is always here to help.